Hello and welcome to the old Fliers. The Western Australian newspaper on the 17th of October reported that a Boeing-owned aerospace company had signed a deal with Australian air safety regulator Airservices Australia. Wisk Aero would swap information and hold simulations to create rules for the next generation aircraft, specifically the implementation of pilotless air taxis.
I'm Gary Geisen, CEO of Wisk. In 2010, we set out to find a way to skip traffic, get to our destination faster, and do so in a way that is responsible to the planet, to our employees, and to the communities that we aim to serve. That inspiration evolved into a mission to deliver safe, everyday flight for everyone. Over the past 12 years, we've pursued that mission through the development of self-flying, all-electric, vertical takeoff and landing air taxis, conducting more than 1,600 full-scale test flights with the largest fleet in the industry. This development process is incredibly difficult because first you have to test the idea of this vertical takeoff, flying a fixed-wing aircraft, and then landing vertically like a helicopter. And that's not been done before in a commercial sense. And so we're pioneering the technology. We've got to design different aircraft and test them to see if it works, and then adapt and modify and change your design if you need to.
We're also very fortunate to have caught the eye of aviation leaders. We're honored to call Boeing and Kitty Hawk investors, and also to have Boeing as a strategic partner.
While the past 12 plus years have led to this moment, today is about our 6th generation aircraft. This is the culmination of years of hard work from our industry-leading team, commitment from our investors, and the evolution and advancement of technology.
All to bring you the world's first self-flying, all-electric, 4-passenger, vertical takeoff and landing air taxi.
At the core of Generation 6 is safety. We've designed and optimized our entire Generation 6 system to exceed the highest safety standards of commercial aviation.
In addition to safety enhancements, our 4-seat Generation 6 builds on previous 5 generations of design and testing experience to deliver a new level of performance. Specifically, our 6th generation aircraft has a cruising speed of 120 knots, a range of 90 miles with reserves, and will fly at an altitude between 2,500 and 4,000 feet. Fewer moving parts, no hydraulics, no oil, no fuel mean fewer chances of a component failure and a more robust system overall. These changes improve safety, stability, and the passenger experience, as well as reduce our overall noise footprint. The most notable change is the larger cabin, with 4 seats and storage for baggage and personal carry-on items to align with commercial flights. Generation 6 will be the most versatile air taxi in the market.
We've put a tremendous amount of thought into the safety, performance, and configuration of the aircraft. That same level of attention to detail extends to the passenger experience. With optimal visibility, spacious layout, and ample storage, passengers will enjoy comfortable seats and productivity features like Wi-Fi and device charging, allowing passengers the flexibility to enjoy the view, be productive, or simply relax.
Part of our goal with Generation 6 is to make it a service for everyone. That means a price point where everyone from college students to business professionals will have the ability to make this part of their everyday lives. From an entry and exit design for individuals across the mobility spectrum, to user interfaces that seamlessly accommodate people living with hearing, vision, and other impairments. We're one of the few companies that has prioritized designing for such a wide demographic of passengers.
You've heard a lot about the physical aircraft, but what you can't see is just as impressive.
We're one of the few companies pursuing a self-flying approach.
Autonomy is the key to unlocking scale and the full potential and benefits of advanced air mobility.
Aviation has a long history of autonomy, and we're able to leverage that history, leverage those standards, leverage those practices, and do something just a little bit new with it.
93% of the pilot functions on the commercial airliner today are performed by a computer. We are taking that same proven existing technology and combining it with our proprietary self-flying software to create an aircraft capable of autonomous flight. In other words, the aircraft and its autonomous systems handle most situations, while a human in our ground control station monitors multiple aircraft at once. By doing this, we're able to take the human out of the cockpit, but they're not out of the equation. Humans are still very much a part of the overall system.
So that's the value proposition of autonomy, is to be able to take in all this data, process it, understand where all the hazards are, and be able to navigate a safe, predictable, reliable path every single time. What's really exciting about the Gen 6 airplane is it's a product that will potentially change people's lives. You can imagine taking trips that you've never taken before. You can imagine being home and not spending time in traffic and getting to that soccer game that you wanted to go to. It's an opportunity to give people a little time back into their lives, and also to let them experience flight.
Advanced air mobility, as the trend is known, is expected to deliver more than 700,000 trips a year by 2043, as stated in a report commissioned by Airservices Australia. Specialised planes are expected to arrive as early as 2026. Wisk Aero hopes that autonomous air taxis will be operating in Australia in time for the 2032 Brisbane Olympic Games. Wisk Aero Australia and Pacific Operations Vice President Catherine McGowan said, "Safety regulations and airspace integration systems would be needed to allow those flights, and its new partnership would help create them." Australia has a history of innovations and a vision for the future that includes advanced air mobility. We're grateful to contribute to an air traffic system that meets the needs of these services so we can bring safe, efficient air travel to communities in this region. End of quote. Wisk Aero, owned by Boeing, has created 6 generations of electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft and has tested self-flying aircraft in the US. The aircraft are expected to transport commuters in urban and regional areas in short flights from a city to an airport or to a major regional town. Airservices Australia Chief Executive Rob Sharp said the nation needed a flight information management system to allow that air traffic, and the deal with Wisk would help both organisations gain insights into the rules required. Electric aircraft have been operating in Australia for several years. Joshua Portlock of Electro.Aero said the new wave of electric air taxis are all going to need charging infrastructure at every airport and vertiport they intend to operate between, as unlike EVs, an electric aircraft will always need to top up the battery before its flight to ensure minimum reserves are maintained. Hence why Electro.Aero's charging solutions are even more important than automotive chargers. End of quote. Fly 1E, which leads the world in electric flight training, has signed an agreement to acquire Rottnest Air Taxis in preparation for transitioning to electric air taxis. eVTOL aircraft capable of taking off and landing in urban environments rely on advanced technologies like automation, artificial intelligence, and various sensors to navigate, avoid obstacles, and ensure safety. This is possible. For instance, in 2016, the Royal Automobile Club of WA launched Australia's first automated vehicle trial in South Perth, Geraldton and Busselton. These driverless electric IntelliBuses have travelled more than 38,000 kilometres and driven 28,000 passengers, a taste of the future. Driverless electric trains have been operating for years. Admittedly, navigation is not a consideration for them. The Vancouver SkyTrains have been operating for over 30 years. Now, the total lengths of the automated lines of the Shanghai Metro, Singapore MRT, Kuala Lumpur Rapid KL and Dubai Metro have since surpassed those of SkyTrain. Tesla have offered a fully self-driving option in their EVs for some time. Australia does not allow fully automated vehicles on public roads. They do allow driver assistance features as long as drivers keep their hands on the steering wheel. Tesla is working on the driverless Cybercab, which has no steering wheel or pedals. Would you be surprised to know that pilotless aircraft have been operating here and elsewhere for many years? I was at the Geelong Avalon Air Show in 2017 when many unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, were on show. The General Atomics MQ-9 Reaper and Israel Aircraft Industries Heron TP vehicles were impressive. The Reaper is large, and I wondered how the US Air Force had managed to get it to Avalon. The US Airman guarding the Reaper looked at me incredulously. It flew itself here. So, good people, like and subscribe to encourage new content. Support always appreciated.